My background is in health and social care, and so I've always wanted to pass on all of that information that would just be wasted otherwise. When I developed chronic fatigue syndrome myself, which was called ME back in 2003, I was completely bedridden, just one day running around an adventure centre, and the next day, one day I was running around an adventure centre and then literally came home and had a runny nose and then crashed and didn't wake up for weeks and weeks and weeks. But because my background was in health and social care, I knew what had happened to me. And I was so fortunate that I knew what had happened to me, because I think if I'd been like anybody else, I would have been utterly, utterly terrified. And as it was, I was terrified. I was able to recognise that finally my body had packed in. I had been expecting it, but hoping on a wing and a prayer that it wouldn't happen. So I knew what to do to recover. Thousands of people recover, and if they can recover, you can recover. And in fact, I wasn't allowed any support on the NHS unless I did accept my illness and I said that I would never recover. It was devastating to hear people tell me that you will never recover. And it really, really affected me, and it affects everybody to be told that. I did recover the first time. Other people recover. You do not have to manage this condition. Whether it is long COVID fatigue or chronic fatigue syndrome, or the old term is ME, I've been recovered for many, many years now. 100% can do anything that I like, don't even think about it. And that's what I want to teach you today. So, hello and welcome to the programme. You're constantly being either put into high arousal, skin can be affected, the thermostat's affected. On top of that, many people get hypervigilancy. It's like being in the jungle. You're using a part of your brain that in terms of evolution is so ancient, the mammalian brain, and its job is to put you in flight. So when you're in that state of high arousal, you need to be hyper vigilant. If you were in the jungle and you had predators, you would be really highly tuned for listening, for anything that is moving. So your whole body, your 5 senses go into this dreadful state of high arousal where light and sound, touch, taste, smell can really become overpowering. I know when I had it for light, it is really, really excruciating pain when you have too much noise, too much light. Because what it wants you to do is be hyper vigilant and hyper aware of all the dangers and anything that could be a danger to you. Everything's going like this because it's wanting you to run away. It's wanting you to fight. You can't run away from the symptoms. You can't do anything. And then ultimately, another system kicks in, which is your even more ancient brain, the reptilian brain, and that's your protective system. Your ultimate protective system. And its job, when everything else fails, is to literally shut down the whole system. It's like a nuclear plant that's about to explode, and you have to cut the fuse, shut down the whole plant so that there isn't a disaster. So actually, I knew all about this when I crashed. I knew that's what would happen to me. And because of that, I knew I had to reset the system. And that's why I call it Reset to Thrive, because we need to get you back into normal thrive mode, back into the system that you're meant to be living in every day of your life, unless there actually is a tiger. So there is a lot of research showing that the hypothalamus, your hypothalamus has reset your body, and now you only need to do a tiny bit of exertion and it thinks you've hit the threshold. I'll teach you how to do that, how to activate the vagal system, which is your healthy system, how to turn off this malfunctioning protective system. If you look on the NICE guidelines or anything on chronic fatigue, and they're now saying the same for long COVID, it is a maladaptive system. It's a neurological maladaptive condition. That means there is no physical damage to your body. It means the system isn't functioning properly. So what I want to show you how to do is how to get that system back to normal. And actually, when we run through the program, it's something that you have actually done all your life. So just to be really clear about chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, long COVID, it is a really physical illness. It is a part of your body that is not functioning properly. It is a system called the autonomic nervous system, so actually it's working for you automatically. You have absolutely no control over this unless you understand what is happening, and then you can learn to do an override, and that's what we're going to teach you. No amount of wishful thinking or people telling me just to try harder was ever going to get me out of bed when I was bedridden. I would have given the world to have been able to get out of bed. But the body had stopped working. And the body stopped working because this reptilian system had kicked in to stop it from going into overdrive and having further damage. Please, please know that you have got a physical illness. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that you just need to try harder or you just need to, do something nice and keep going. I'm going to show you how to reset it and understand what the brain is wanting for you to be able to reset it back to the healthy system. You did in the beginning, when you first crashed, when you first had a virus, you really did need to be crashed. But now, if you have been ill for more than 3 to 6 months, it is appropriate for you to be up and running. And if anything is getting you stuck, I'm going to show you how to move on from that. So enjoy the program, and I hope we have fun along the journey. Let's start the program.